The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside in the Ingalls studio. And it's time for another post-Senior Bowl 2022 7-round mock draft. This time it's the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, of course, leading the way for the Baltimore Ravens, and they were killed by injuries this past year. I don't think you could hold too much against them for the season not going as far as they wanted it to. How are they going to make things better, though, coming up in the draft?
Who's shocked that the best drafting team in the NFL had probably my favorite draft class in this first draft?
Absolutely no one. With the 14th overall pick, the first round, Trevor Penning, offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa.
This kid is screaming up draft boards, and with good reason. He is his parents didn't hug him enough, or
just got a mean streak?
I don't know. He's just mean and mad at the fucking world, and he is an immediate left tackle in the NFL beyond any shadow of a doubt. I thought I was going to be higher on him. I had him in right around 20. I had him to the Bengals multiple times. Yeah, he ain't lasting that far. He's not. He is not lasting that far. And with Ronnie Stanley coming back, now you've got bookend tackles for a long, long time. And if Stanley doesn't come back from injury the way he was beforehand, you have your left tackle of the future.
Wow. Okay.
Because he can be that. This would immediately be the best set of bookend tackles in the NFL.
He just showed out
all that close.
He just showed out that much at the Senior Bowl?
Well, the problem with him was level of competition. Playing at Northern Iowa, you always have to be careful, especially with any position that's physical, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, because they're so much bigger. I mean, Trevor Penning is a gigantic human being. 6'6", 6'7", 330, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yep.
He's just a mountain. And so you get pass rushers at this level. Some of them are 230 pounds. So, yeah, of course he's going to throw them around. Well, then he went to the Senior Bowl and did the same shit with first-round draft prospects. So, yeah, now he's going to go in the top 15. I'm going to level with you. I'm not sure he'll be here at 14.
Wow.
I could see him going as high as 6 to the Carolina Panthers. I don't think he can go any higher than that. But this would be he's an interesting guy. Played tight end for quite some time, was a defensive end at one point, and then just became a mountain and became the best offensive lineman in the Missouri Valley for 2 years. I mean, this kid's, I'm not going to say no doubt because I never say that. His worst case scenario is he has to play guard because he is a little lead-footed. I mean, he's very athletic for his size, but he is still a gigantic human being. And he would be one of the best guards in the NFL. Long arms, built like a stereotypical left tackle. If you were sculpting a left tackle out of granite, he would look like Trevor Penning. Good thing for the Ravens, you don't actually need a left tackle. You need a right tackle. And as much as they run, it becomes a very high-end need. Ali Villanueva was not particularly good last year, obviously older, and I don't necessarily think he'll even be back. But this would give you your bookend tackles for many years to come.
All right, in the second round at 45 overall, Daxton Hill, safety out of Michigan.
Yeah, here's a player I get asked about a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Because he can play in the slot. He could play corner in the NFL. He's very versatile. Unbelievable athlete. Could be the fastest player in this draft. Won't shock me if he challenges the fastest time in combine history.
So if
he runs, I could see him running a 4.25. He's that fast as a safety. And I forgot, he's 6'1", $195. So it's not like he's undersized to play safety.
Right.
He can move all around the formation. Now, here is where people will ask, well, why does he not go in the first round? Because he is slight. And I don't think you're going to see him add good weight to the frame. He is built exactly as he should be because you're going to move him all around the formation. He's a good tackler, not a great tackler. And against the run, he's going to get washed out. Baltimore has shown a predilection to take players that are this talented and just go, you know what, we'll fit the scheme to them. Mm-hmm. We'll move things around and we'll make it work. And Daxton Hill is a player that I see in Baltimore as a 10-year starter, back into that defense, improves everything around him because he is the best deep ball safety in this draft. And he can go man-to-man in the slot as well. Tight ends will kill him. He's not big enough. But in Baltimore, I think you'll figure out a way to mitigate that.
No doubt. 2 picks in the third round for the Baltimore Ravens at 76 overall. Arnold Ibakitay.
This is where Baltimore just starts stacking draft capital because they have 5 fourth-round picks.
5 of them.
Yeah. This is what compensatory picks do for you, is that you can stack up a draft class like this. Mm-hmm. Ibakitay is as raw of a natural pass rusher as you'll ever see. He kind of reminds me of Odafe Owa, who they drafted last year, and he would be a perfect complement on the other side. Not necessarily. He's going to come in day one and be a pass rusher. That's all he's going to do. You'll see him come in on third down and just bury down on quarterbacks. I could see his rookie year being much like Owa's, where you don't see a lot of him early, starts coming on late with the intention of him being a full-time starter next year.
All right, with the second pick in the third round, 99 overall, Caleb Evans, cornerback out of Missouri.
This is another kid that went Tulsa to Missouri. There are a couple of those in this draft. I like this kid. I like him. I don't love him because the best thing he does is tackle. I actually think his best play in the NFL is to convert to safety. Now, this is one of those tandem picks, and I love doing this because the multiplicity that you would have with Daxton Hill and a Caleb Evans to shift and screw with quarterbacks, and it's the most Baltimore-y thing you'll ever see. Because there is a possibility that, pre-snap motion, and this is an iteration that I've seen Baltimore do it. I've seen a few other teams do it. All right, you send that pre-snap guy, we're changing the play as you're doing that, and all of the alignment changes. So now Daxton Hill goes from deep safety to in the slot, and a Caleb Evans drops out. It would be absolutely terrifying to have to game plan against because you would have to 100% trust your quarterback to trust what they see. Now, is he a great cover corner? No. I think he can develop into one. Body frame's phenomenal, 6'2", about 205. Going to run in the mid to high 4.4s. But the technique's raw. And he is incredibly aggressive. In the NFL, that may come back to bite him in the ass. That's why he's available in the third round. Because there were times at Missouri that he just got avoided. All right, at Missouri, I don't have to throw at you. There's not enough talent on that defense that I can find somebody else to pick on. I can just leave you alone. And for long stretches, that happened. There were a couple of he got beat deep, especially in press. He's not a press corner, and he never will be. But I do think he can be a piece, and no team in the NFL would be more equipped to use him than the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, now the first of the 5 picks in the fourth round for the Baltimore Ravens. Their first one originally belonged to the New York Giants at 108 overall. Thomas Booker, defensive tackle from Stanford.
This is a projection, and this is something Baltimore loves to do because this kid is as raw as they come, which is weird because he has one of the highest snap counts in this draft. So he's very experienced. I just don't feel like the next step was ever taken. But you put him in Baltimore, to me, he profiles as a 3-4 D end. That's exactly what I see out of him because the best thing he does is rush the passer. Not great against the run. The way to mitigate that is to have a front seven as good as Baltimore's when it's healthy. I would love, if they brought back Calais Campbell, I think he could learn a lot from him, not be asked to do much as a rookie, and be projecting 2 years down the line. That there is enough raw talent, and I think enough talent that is completely untapped in this kid, that 2 years down the line, you could be looking at this going, how the hell did you get him in the fourth round? I'm not telling you he's going to be a Pro Bowler, but I think he could be a top 10 in the NFL 3-4 D end. Running that technique, he's going to have to learn it because he did play interior. He played in the interior at Stanford. Body frame's good, just raw and needs to be refined.
With their own pick at 117 overall in the fourth round, Dylan Parham, center out of Memphis.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this kid. Unfortunately for him, he did not have the greatest week in Mobile. I'm not going to say it was bad. There were just some inconsistencies. And a kid that's being graded where he is, look, this is not a good interior offensive line draft. By the time you're getting into the third, fourth round, you are taking projects. Well, Dylan Parham's not really a project. He's a kid that could come in and play right away. Very athletic for 6'3", 315, played tight end at Memphis, and then was later converted to guard. He's still earning the position. Got bullied at times by really big, physical, strong defensive tackles. He's another one that I think would need a redshirt year. Now, if something happened on the interior of that Baltimore line and somebody was missing, he can play center or guard. So he's very versatile. I do think he would be on the active roster, and he would be a kid that you could play. It would just be ideally you don't ask him to be a starter right off the jump.
Mm-hmm. At 126 overall, the Baltimore Ravens take Romeo Doubs, wide receiver out of Nevada. Is this kid really that good, or is he a product of the quarterback that he had?
Well, the quarterback helped. Didn't have a great week in Mobile. I get asked unbelievable numbers of questions about this kid. He's so raw. And you got to understand, coming out of a system like they play at Nevada, you're not running an NFL route tree. So this kid is, and basically the best way I can explain this, coming into the NFL, learning a playbook is like learning a new language. Well, it's much easier to learn Italian if you've learned Spanish. This kid barely speaks English, using that analogy.
You're right.
Because he didn't really ever even learn how to run a college offense. So he's not going to come in and be this high-end impact player. I get a lot of Raider fans that ask me about this kid because he is freakishly athletic. 6'2", probably going to run in the, I would say, high 4.4s. Can't block to save his life. I mean, just genuinely bad blocker. So you're going to have to refine this kid because the technique is not there. But the raw is, and the hands are. He has really good hands. There were some dropsy issues, but it wasn't a hand problem. It's a concentration problem. Because there were times that he had a little bit of alligator arms. Other than that, he profiles like Rashad Bateman. That's what I see in him, is that he could be that level receiver. The only thing is that Rashad Bateman came in as a finished product. Romeo Doubs is probably Rashad Bateman as a freshman in college. So you're going to have to develop him. Good thing in Baltimore is that you can do that.
Yeah, that's what they do best. How about a tight end with the 138 pick? Greg Dulcich from UCLA.
I am so unbelievably drunk on this kid. I mean, I am just what's the best way to say this?
That's the sound the bear makes.
I am Gary Busey at 11:35 on a Tuesday night at a Bennigan's drunk on Greg Dulcich. I see Mark Andrews. That's exactly what I see in this kid. And I said the same thing about Andrews when he came out. The big knock, he's not a good blocker. Let me be really honest with you. The vast majority of tight ends that come out now are not good blockers. He's not crazy fast. Neither is Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews in a foot race might lose to me. Doesn't matter. Gets open. And that's what I see in Greg Dulcich. He is a technician running routes. One of the better route runners, especially down the field. Most tight ends don't have a real ability to run 15, 25-yard routes. They don't. It's just, hey, I'm big and I'm bigger than who I'm up against. Just get the ball to me and I'll play the ball. Dulcich can use technical route running ability to get open. And I look at him and go, I've seen Baltimore do this. They run so much they need blocking tight ends. Well, then why are they paying $1 jillion to one that doesn't do that? I think they pair nicely together. Is he ever going to be a high-level blocker? No. But I think he can be a year or two down the line. He needs to really round out the body because he is a little bit doughy. And that's not – I'm not saying he's heavy. He just needs – I mean, look, Chip Kelly's always had a reputation for the conditioning things might be a little overlooked. He worries more about the scheme and just out-scheming you than he does out-athleting you. Now, he got a lot out of Greg Dulcich, and I think he's my fifth tight end in this class, in a class that I'm really high on. I would love him in Baltimore. This is my favorite class. As we're going through this, I'm realizing this is my favorite class in this draft, and it's not really all that close.
Not really all that close. You add to it with the 140th overall pick in the 4th round, Troy Anderson, linebacker from Montana State.
Yeah, here's a profile that I don't know that I've ever given before. Troy Anderson played 3 positions at Montana State. He was a linebacker, and he was a damn good one, real good blitzer, hyper athletic. He was a running back, and he was a quarterback.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this is a jack of all trades, just phenomenal athlete. He's not as straight line fast as people make him seem to be. There are people that think he's going to run a 4.4, and those people are stupid because he's not that fast.
Right.
If he was, he would be a first-round pick because he can do freaking everything. Very good natural blitzer. He needs a lot of work on technique. I mean a lot of work on technique. So what happens when you've played multiple positions? And I'll be honest with you, I think he could play 2 or 3 more. 6'4", 240, I believe.
Yeah.
And just, he's a freak of nature. But he's so raw. Comes in immediately, contributes on special teams. Might be top 10, 15 special teams player in the league the minute he steps in the league. And could develop over time into a high-level starter in this league.
At the last pick of the draft for the Baltimore Ravens, comes at 194 overall, Abram Smith, running back out of Baylor.
Okay, I'm going to level. I didn't actually have a draftable grade on this kid until the Senior Bowl, and he was the best player in the game. He wasn't the best. He was good for the week. He was the best player in the game. So it made me go back and look at him. He's very specific. A lot of people go, oh, he's never going to last that long. I hear that with every running back. Do you know what that tells me when I hear that with every player at a position? Yeah, I'm right. Mm-hmm. And you know why? Because there's a shitload of them. There are probably 60 draftable running backs in this class. Just depends on what you're looking for.
60?
Abram Smith fits in this Baltimore style scheme where I'm going to ask you to just straight line run ahead. He's a bad blocker. He's not just a not a willing blocker. He's not good at it. He's not real big, 5'11", 210. Doesn't provide much as a receiver. This is a kid that you're going to hand the ball and go. Mm-hmm. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I feel like he complements J.K. Dobbins well. He is an insurance policy to Gus Edwards if he doesn't come back off the injury as good as he was before, because they look kind of similar. These are very similar running backs. It's just a depth piece. Baltimore goes a long time without a pick after the Troy Anderson selection. And if Abram Smith was on the board, there's probably not a team in the NFL I would like him with better than the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, there's not a team in the NFL that's going to feel bad for him for having to sit out the 5th round. After you have 5 picks in the 4th round, you have added quite a haul here for the Baltimore Ravens, and it all starts at the top with Trevor Penning, who could be, what did you say, 15-year starter in this league?
He could be a career starter in this league.
Wow.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, who he profiles to is Andrew Whitworth, the left tackle from the Rams. And Baltimore can slide him in on the right side.
Unbelievable. That is your 2022 7-round mock draft post-Senior Bowl by Flostradamus Jeremy Greene for the Baltimore Ravens. Any comments, questions? Hit us up.
If you agree with these picks, if you don't agree with these picks, feel free to comment that in the comments. If there's a player you would like to know how they fit with the Baltimore Ravens, you can throw those in the comments as well. I answer those every single day. If you ask me about some D3 kid, you might have to give me a couple hours to send a text because I only do 500 players. So if it's some kid that plays at the school down the street from your house, may or may not know who he is. But this is the first of 3 mock drafts. I do this one. I have one more that happens after the combine and free agency settles down, and then another that comes out the 2 days directly preceding to the April 28th, 2022 NFL Draft in Las Vegas.
And while you're here, thanks for stopping by the way. Hit that subscribe button so you get all of our team-by-team content throughout the NFL Draft season. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we will see you next time.